Okay, so let's talk about manifold pressure here while we're talking about it. So we can reduce it to like 28 inches, right? I make that power change. I have to squeak the throttle a little bit, maintain my altitude with the cyclic. Watch what happens with the airspeed. Airspeed starts bleeding off, right? 70 miles, 65. I add that power back in, just like in a fixed wing, you start speeding up. You're increasing your thrust. And now watch what happens with the airspeed. Starts going up towards 80, 85. So you can see just a couple inches of manifold pressure, the change in the amount of airspeed you have. This thing, a comfortable cruise speed in this is at 80 to 90 miles an hour. Now you can cruise at 100, 110. Maximum D&E for this is 115. That's where you get into what I call retreating blade stall.
Got it.
And then you'll know, because the nose will just pitch up and you'll have a lot of vibration just like this. That's what's going to happen to you.
Okay.
It won't let you go any faster. You'll run out of forward cyclic. It'll be like this and the nose is pitching up. Helicopter 06 Alpha, we're frequency change at this time. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, frequency.
Alrighty. I'm just looking for other traffic on the ADS-B here. Like we might have some training helicopters over there. Alright, so let's say we get in a world of hurt and we start losing our engine. So the auto rotation, right? It's going to feel like you're kind of floating a little bit.
Right.
So if I lost my engine, I would immediately lower the collective. Enter the auto rotation. Adjust the collective to maintain rotor RPM. I idled the throttle there. That's why I came back up. You have to idle it. And then once you get towards the bottom, you'll do a cyclic flare. Let's see if we wanted to go in here. We would flare and recover the aircraft. So we're going to do power recovery.
Right.
That's the auto rotation.
Right. So you just
you're using the collective and the altitude.
You just totally unload your demand.
That's it. And now with an ample amount of airspeed down here, we can just do a quick half cyclic flare if we lost engine power down here. And we'd be in the water, we'd be in the mud a little bit, but the whole idea is us surviving.
Right. Get away from the gators.
That's it. And a lot of this is just like knee-high water anyway. It's really marshy, that's why you'll see a lot of cows walking around here.
Wow, we are low.
Yep. This is where we live, down low in the Army. Tactical terrain flight.
Staring the cows.
That's it. Space Coast Traffic Helicopter 8006 Alpha, Rotorway Helicopter. We're low level, northbound on the St. John's, just south of Alpha area, if there's any traffic in the area. We're heading northbound towards 50. That's the common traffic advisory frequency for the helicopter guys, is 2195 here. And, yep, so we're just going to go up here towards 50. This is the nickel ride, or the fun ride here. You can see how much maneuverability you have here on the aircraft. She's quite nimble for a semi-rigid rotor system. There is a little bit of a lag or a pendulum effect. So you put in control input, there's like a millisecond lag to it. So when you're hovering, you got to take that in consideration. You actually kind of be thinking ahead of what the aircraft's doing, because your inputs are lagged a little bit. Not by much, but just think of a pendulum hanging on a string. It's the same thing right now as a helicopter with these TDR and rotor systems. Now, like something more like the Black Hawk or an Apache that has a rigid rotor system, or fully articulated, where each blade can flap and lead and lag and feather and do everything. It's more responsive, those rotor systems. So you can do a hell of a lot more. But you see that, the Red Bull helicopter? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That guy has a rigid rotor system. So That thing is very responsive. You put a control input, it just immediately happens.
Yeah, that's what type of helicopter is that again? That's
BO 105.
There's a different Red Bull helicopter I was thinking about.
There's
the old military one.
Oh yeah, the Cobra. Cobra H1,
yeah.
yep. So we're just doing some
look,
cycling
somebody's horse out there.
Oh yeah. There's tons of cows and horses, all kinds of stuff out here. Alright. We've got our training area over there, so we're going to come on over. The winds are coming from the north, so a north landing is the direction we're going to go. I know I make it look easy, but there's a lot going on, and you have to subconsciously think. But you can see, I mean, you can take your hand off for a little bit, and it's not going to go out of control.
Right.
Our training area is over there. We're going to overfly it there, just do a high recon or low area recon over it, just make sure there's no cows in the area we want to go, because there's a lot of cows in the field here too. And this is a training area that the helicopter guys use from Space Coast, or the USATS guys. So the south side looks pretty empty, so we'll work with there. All the cows seem to be on the right side, so we'll land to the north. So I got my power down to about 26, 27. We're going to land on the south side. And this is the type pattern here. But, you know, you don't need as much room to do a pattern in a helicopter as you do in a helicopter. Alright, so we got our landing area, nice big open field here. Try to keep that airspeed up above 30 until you have your landing area assured. Tail's clear. And then we can slow down with a little aft cyclic, and as we get into ground effect, we have to start adding some additional power as we get below what's called effective translational lift. Effective translational lift is, just imagine the wingtip vortices, just like in a fixed wing. You're re-ingesting that air in the rotor system, so it's reducing the efficiency of the rotor system when you're hovering like this. So we're at 35 inches. So if I accelerate, so I just pitch the nose forward a little bit, and this is a cushion creep takeoff, so I'm not adding any more manifold pressure, just enough to keep us off the ground. And I'm coaxing her forward, just little stabs in the cyclic, forward, center, We get that efficiency. You saw that bump of efficiency? Now look at the airspeed is about 20. So now we're in smooth, clean, unrecirculated air. Right. And our efficiency increases, and we don't need as much power to hover. Or, I'm sorry, forward flight.
Right.
I would have to show you in the whiteboard real quick what's going on aerodynamically, but I wanted to show you that real quick.
I understand what you're talking about.
Right. So we're in clean, undisturbed air in the rotor system, and it's more efficient. That's why when you're at hover at out of ground effect, that's the highest power demand. So if I was to hover up here, I'll show you. We'll be over the field just in case we have to come down. How much more power you're going to see? You're going to probably see about 41, 42 inches. Almost max power to hover out of ground effect. And ground effect in this is just like in a fixed wing, about half the width of your wing. So 22 feet, 24 foot rotor diameter, so about 10 feet is in ground effect. Once you get above 10 feet, then that's it, man. It's like you're going to need all the power you got available. Alright, so we're going to come over here, and we're going to slow it down into the wind, and we're going to demonstrate out of ground effect hover and the differences in power. Now, we might not need as much because we got a headwind too. But watch what's happening to the power. I'm adding throttle. We're at 36 inches. We're actually in a climb. That's awesome. We've got so much headwind. It's like we're hovering in ground effect. Because that headwind is causing that air not to be re-ingested. And if we had an engine failure here, we would just lower the collective, get the nose down. This is not a full auto, but we would do this. We get back in, get our rotor RPM back up, get our airspeed, and then the same thing at the bottom where we'd flare. All right, it's your turn to fly, so we're gonna come back and we're gonna start with the hover. I think I've showed you everything. a helicopter could do. So we've talked about hovering, we've talked about forward flight. Now it's to apply that application of knowledge that we just learned.
I don't know that I caught much.
I do one control at a time. So we're going to start with the hardest, is the cyclic.
Okay.
And I'll be on all the other controls, and we'll do the cyclic down there once we get into the training area.
Okay.
So hovering is where everybody starts first, and then we work on the altitude stuff. For fixed wing guys, the altitude stuff is actually pretty easy. Because once you can kind of correlate that it kind of flies like a fixed wing,
right,
and you don't over control like this, you'll be fine. Beautiful day for performance. Everything is cool, nice and cool. Density altitudes are low. You know, if it was a hot day, you know, she'd be working a lot harder. Okay, so stable 2 to 3 foot hover. All right, put your right hand on the cyclic.
Got it.
Get your wrist comfortable in there, and just concentrate on the cyclic, right?
Got it.
Okay, so she has the tendency to go forward.
Okay, I'm not on
You
the
don't have
rudder.
to do the pedals, I'll do the pedals.
All right.
I'm just keeping her weather vaned into the wind. The whole idea is to keep the helicopter over the same area. She will creep forward, so you might need more aft cyclic, but find where that sweet spot is, and that's like your neutral position that you're going to come back to after you make an input. So you're doing pretty damn good. A little bit more aft cyclic like right here,
Okay.
and you don't have to jab it as much. Just like you move it, you kind of hold it there for a second, and move it back, and you don't have to be so jabby with it, you know what I mean?
All right.
Just relax a little bit, hold it, you see how I'm just holding it back?
All right, let me try again.
Yeah, the more jabby you are with it, the more pendulum effect. A pilot-induced oscillation is what you'll start getting. And you're doing it. So we're just kind of weathercocking and vaning here a little bit, but I got all control of all that. So you're
All right, I'm working my way to the right now.
Okay, so a little bit of right of where your sweet spot was, and then back to the sweet spot. So right, center. If you want to go to the right, just a little bit of right.
Got
and
it.
then back to the center.
I'm going to put the slow in there.
Yeah, there you go.
I was getting a little high, I think.
Yeah, I'm giving you some more room,
All right. Oh, okay.
altitude, because I don't want you to,
All right.
get the tail into the ground or something.
But we don't want to do that.
No. There you go. And then to stop the forward motion, you come back a little bit, like right here.
Okay.
Hold it for a second, and then back forward. You see how you stop that forward motion?
Yeah.
There you go. Just try to hold your position here. That's all we're looking for.
All right, I'm working on it.
That's it. Very good. I like how little you're moving it. Okay, let's stop that forward motion.
All right, working it back.
There you go. Good job. Excellent. Excellent.
Oh, go backwards a little
There
bit.
you go.
Go back. All right. I can see, you can see a lot from just watching you can see something with the rotor too, if I watch the rotor.
Yep, you can see what it's doing. But every time you get a little gust of wind or something. Okay, I have all controls, relax.
Yeah, the airplane.
Alrighty, we're going to set her down. You can see how less I'm moving it. You see how little? Instead of jabbing it, you're kind of jabbing it.
Yeah,
Just putting it in a position, holding it for a second, and just moving it. Smoother inputs is very important for a smooth control touch. There's the right, there's the left.
I'm usually pretty smooth, but...
No, you're doing good, because I've seen people really over-control it. Okay, so the only reason I set it down is just to let things cool down a little bit.
All right.
And monitor our temperatures. Everything is still within acceptable limits, but we were getting into the amber range here with the
we
oil
don't want to do
temperature.
that.
Which is fine. It's okay. It'll cool down in a second.
220's not bad, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
yeah.
I think
Oil
this
doesn't
is...
break down till 250.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think these are on the... They have a new scale gauge, and I think the red range starts at about the 250 on the newer gauges.
Yeah.
So that's 220, 230, 240. So that one says 240 for the red anyway, so.
Yeah, oil doesn't break down until like 260.
Yep.
Or 250 at least.
But I just set it down after a while. That's why I don't like doing a continuous hovering in the summertime, because your temperatures just get too high and you're really dragging that engine down. The next gauge we're going to play with is our, the next control is going to be our collective.
All right, let's get a picture.
There you go.
Right.
Got the Pro, the 12 Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got that one too. Okay, all right, so I want you to put your left hand on the collective with me and follow through.
All right.
Okay, you can follow with all the controls. You can have your feet on the rudder pedals,
all right,
but remember,
following.
lightly on
That'll
the pedals,
help.
okay? And just follow me on all the controls. We're going to talk about the pickup, right?
Okay.
And then we're going to play with the collective only once we get picked up to a hover. Okay, so we start adding collective. Look at manifold pressure. About 30, she's going to get light. So remember we talked about translating tendency. The tendency is for her to go to the left.
Right.
So I know instinctively to add a little bit of right cycling, a little bit of right pedal, and aft cycling. And then she gets light, and then we pick her up. You see that? We know to anticipate that. Okay, so you're on the collective with me. Relax on the pedals. You can stay on the cyclic, that's okay, but I want you to control the collective now. So I want you to just add a little pressure to climb vertically. So
Wait 1 second. I want you to fly the hover, and I'm watching, I'm taking your inputs now if I follow your...
Yeah.
That's what I should have done before is...
Yep. So you feel how little I'm doing, right? This is what all you need to do. Very little movements. Okay, so now we want to go up, right? So I'm just going to pull just a little squeak of throttle as I pull up. You see that? And we climb. Now I want to go back down, so I have to squeak out the throttle just a little bit and relax the upward pressure on the collective. And then she'll settle back into about a 1 foot hover. You notice the changes in the manifold pressure. So about 35 inches at a 1 foot hover. Now I'm going to pull up on the collective. Add a squeak of throttle. Look at that manifold pressure go up. As we get out of ground effect above 10 feet, now she's at 39 inches. You see that change in power setting? Because that accelerated airflow and those rotor tip vortices are going, they're decreasing the efficiency of the rotor system. Now when we settle back into ground effect, that air is not allowed to accelerate, and we need less air. We need less power to hover. Alrighty? How are you feeling?
All right, do that again.
Coming back up?
Okay.
You feel that little bit of movement, right pedal, because if I didn't add right pedal, she'd start spinning to the left. And you see it's pressure, counter pressures on the pedals. 40 inches at about a 15 foot hover. Now we come back down. And I just relaxed it. It is almost like a downward pressure. And I'm using the pedals for directional control. Keeping our nose pointed down our landing area here. All right. All right, now, that cow's taking a big, huge dump.
I saw that.
Oh, geez. All right, so just pull up on the collective. I'll add the throttle.
Okay.
There you go. You're doing it. There you go. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Little squeak of throttle and hold.
Throttle is out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this. This is throttle. Yep. And then we come back down.
Okay.
There you go. And then I squeak, just the squeak of throttle. I did it. And then we're going to go back into ground effect. Notice how our manifold pressure is going to start decreasing as we get closer to the ground. And then we squeak off a little throttle. Want to be at 100%.
That's throttle out.
There you go. And
more throttle is like rotate.
Yep.
Rotating out.
Yep. Outward rotation is more throttle. Inward rotation is less throttle.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to come up a little bit higher.
Okay.
And you got all controls.
All right. How do you know?
There you go. See? Feel those pedals. Feel those pedals. There you go.
How do you know?
You're flying.
How do you know? How do you know?
I have control.
You have control.
Ask your question.
All right. How do you know when to add more power and when to work the collective? Because it's all together, sort of.
Right. So I'm using my peripheral vision to estimate a 2 to 3 foot hover. So with low wind conditions like this, I don't have to adjust the throttle at all unless I'm demanding power. Like I'm going to pull up in the collective and not add throttle. Watch what happens to the rotor RPM. You see it drooping?
So you have to add power to keep it at 100.
Right.
Got it.
That's I want
right.
you to see that.
All right, that's what I needed to
I
see.
didn't add any throttle. I didn't adjust the throttle at all. Watch what
And then
happened.
your RPM came down. All right,
Now
I
we're
got it.
back up because we're back at that 1 foot hover. I'm going to demonstrate one more time. Watch. No throttle is being added. Watch what happens to your rotor RPM. It droops.
Got it.
Relax the pressure. Let her come back down.
Oh.
And then watch what happens. It'll build back up. You're reducing
Right.
the drag on the system.
All right.
So if you don't add the throttle, that's what's going to happen. And then if you add too much throttle, you're going to start getting up to 104, 105, 106%. 110 is overspeed on the rotor. So we don't want to do that.
We don't do that.
So we got a big wide range. Okay, so come on all the pedals.
All right, I'm on.
All the controls, rather.
I'm on all the pedals, all the controls. All right,
All
so
right.
all trimmed up.
Okay, so
All right.
I'm going to give you the controls. I'm going to bring you up a little bit higher so you have some room to maneuver.
Okay. All right.
And just try to hold the position. That's all.
All right. All right. Say when and I'll.
There you go. I just want you to hold
All
the
right.
hover.
I got it.
You're doing really good. 154 on the inlet. I'm talking out loud just to monitor my temperatures. Everything is within acceptable limits. All right, let her come on back down a little closer to the ground.
All right.
That's a good height. There you go. Okay, and the tendency is always to creep forward, so people always creep forward. So be cognizant of that, and then just using your peripheral vision to stop that forward motion. Cedric, you're doing phenomenal, man. I'm barely making any inputs. I'm not touching the cyclic right now. And remember, all control inputs are smooth, so never go jerky on the collective. It's a smooth inputs on the controls, every single control, including the pedals, throttle, and collective and cyclic. Very good job. Excellent job. Okay, stay on the controls with me. I have controls.
All right, you have it. I'm riding.
You're riding with me, and we're going to set her down.
Okay.
I want you to feel the smooth inputs as we set her down.
All right.
This is the set down, and then we're going to practice the pickup together. Nice and easy. We don't want any lateral, forward, side-to-side movements. Otherwise, we can get into a dynamic rollover situation.
Oh, no, we won't do that.
Dynamic rollover, you need three things. You see how I'm centering the controls and lowering the collective and squeaking down on the throttle as well. So we're at that flat pitch.
All right.
All right, the fuel gauge is not 100% accurate there, so
Where's your fuel gauge at?
it's at a quarter tank. We got more than that. We're good.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to hold everything here. We're going to practice one pickup, and then we're going to start heading back to the house.
Okay.
So dynamic rollover, three things. You need a pivot point, a rolling motion, and exceeding the critical angle. So what that means is, let's say we come down and we're going to the right like this. We catch our right skid, we have a pivot point, the right skid, the rolling motion, then rolling motion, and then we get to a point, I don't have enough control authority, that critical angle, or she'll just go over and eat herself. So that can happen, and I've seen it happen to students where they destroy their helicopters at a hover because they're coming down sideways, or they have not appropriate inputs up when they pick up, like too much right cyclic. They dig the right skid in and it flips over as they add collective.
Bad.
So that's why we do a two-stage pickup. We do it nice and slow and easy. So you're with me. We're going to pick her up, get her light. We know we need a little aft and right cyclic and right pedal. So we're thinking right pedal, little throttle, little right pedal, and then up she goes. That's it. Okay, I have all controls.
You got the airplane.
Good job, man. Good job, man. That's great. Great first lesson. Creeper forward here, get above effective translational lift. There it is. Feel that little shudder and increase in lift. Then we can back off to about 35 inches.
You make me want to get on a video game and practice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good simulators, like X-Plane has good airplane physics.
Or about, helicopter physics?
Yeah, the good helicopter physics. Like
All right, I'll download X-Plane. What helicopter do you recommend?
You can download the Schweitzer 300 or the Robinson 22. I think it comes with a couple default helicopters, but I'm not sure which ones.
I just 2 days ago, I bought 2 VR headsets for me and my kid. Are you VR yet?
I am. I do VR, and I've been playing the digital combat simulator.
DCS.
DCS, I fly the Huey, the F-18, A-10.
All right.
I fly all that stuff. Pretty
I gotta check out your setup so I can set up mine.
Yeah, I get an F-18 cockpit.
You gotta help me set mine up, Joe, all right?
Oh, I will, yeah.
All right. Have you taught your son to fly with you yet?
He's flown a little bit with me. He's not terribly into the simulator, but he has done some VR stuff with me together in DCS.
I wanted to teach my boys how to fly DCS and teach them air combat positioning and all that stuff.
You do formation flying.
Yeah, so I wanted to have flight formation with him. That's what we do with the one wheels. I'll call out, all right, break left. So we fly one wheels in the front yard. So you're going to run over the river and take a picture of my house?
Where's your house at?
I live just south of the power plant.
On US 1?
Off of US 1 on the river.
09er, altimeter 3019er.
Let me see here when the fuel is like
Runway 36, visual approach.
6.8. We started with 15 gallons, so okay, we're good.
Use caution, there's not a bird activity in the vicinity of the airport.
So south of the airport off at US 1 then, right?
Yep.
Runway assignments.
Okay. You know if it's in the Class D?
Information.
It's getting close. Where's the river?
There's the Indian River here.
All right, the river.
Visibility 7.
It's on the edge somewhere where the fire station is.
North or south of 528?
It's north of 528. It's right about here.
Okay. So this is 528 is
I'm south of Port St. John, yeah.
okay. So you're in this area over here then.
On the river.
Yep. On the river, right on the river.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. We've got the fuel, so I'm going to keep the fuel burned up. I know I have up to 15 gallons, so we're good to go. Temperatures, pressures, everything's looking good. Cruising along.
Now, the rules on low altitude flight for airplanes or helicopters.
Different, yeah. Helicopters are different. You
Okay.
can go as low as you want as long as you're not an undue danger, hazard to persons or property on the ground.
Okay.
So there is no minimum altitude for helicopters. So that allows us to do stuff like, but you can do a fixed wing. You can fly a fixed wing down here as long as you're not undue hazard to any persons on the ground or property. There's nothing. I've flown that little light sport airplane down here at 10 feet off the ground. Because there's nothing out here except guys with airboats, you know, and that's it.
Right. You don't have to say 500 feet for VFR or anything, or?
The same altitudes apply. So if I'm cruising along, you know, and I'm going, you know, was it Eastern Hemispherical rule still applies for helicopters, but I typically don't fly much more than 1,000 feet cross country.
Okay.
So the hemispherical rule doesn't apply until 3,000 plus feet. I never get up to 3,000 feet in my helicopter.
So if you were on an airplane,
Yep.
and you're flying low, you just are limited by 500 feet from obstacles and
Yeah, so
people.
So like unpopulated areas, the minimum altitude was 1,000. I'm sorry, 500, and then 1,000 over populated areas, and then 2,000 in mountainous areas. Is like with that Part 91 for a fixed wing. So a lot of guys thinking like, oh, I can't fly less than 500. Well, technically you could. As long as you're 500 feet away from people and property in a fixed wing, you're fine. I try to avoid the birds like up there 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I saw that.
You don't want them to dive into your rotor disc.
That's bad.
All right, 38 minutes of run time, so about 7 gallons of fuel burned. Yep.
Well, this is neat.
Awesome, isn't it?
It is neat.
And cruising along is fairly comfortable. I mean, we got a low power setting. We're like on an economy cruise,
Right.
28 inches on the manifold, and she'll do between 60 and 70. And when you don't have a lot of winds out, I mean, it's like driving your car, speed, but you're not stopping at traffic lights, and that's where you got your most economy. So you just kind of start pointing me in the direction,
This way.
and we'll fly over the house.
How close are we to the airspace?
We're just outside of the Delta, probably about 1/8 of a mile, just south of it.
Okay, well then we're right here. Head straight there, and that'll probably get you in the ballpark.
Yep. And it all looks different because there's this south, that St. John, Port St. John Parkway or whatever it is, where that exit is.
Right.
That's where the urgent care clinic is, that little parish health center.
Yeah, that's where I was telling you. They got me through pretty quickly to get tested. I had to go.
That's where my primary healthcare physician's at. But I haven't been there. I haven't been there in a while, so after COVID started.
It cost me a shit. Like I said, my FO popping positive. He went positive right when I was getting ready to go out on another trip.
Is now in use.
So I'd flown with him for a whole week.
4 in the altimeter is 3014 identity.
So I think I might have been exposed a long time ago, and that's the reason why he didn't infect me, is because I'd already been exposed.
I think most of us have already been exposed to people.
66, report 2 mile right.
I've been around plenty of people that have had it in the past. They're like, yeah, I was sick, man. Pretty sick. Bad flu. Some people like, I had muscle aches, fever for a few days, and that was it. So everybody's different. Just like cold and flu, you know, everybody's different. So you're south of the fire station there, off of Grissom Parkway?
Right by the fire station. Just south of the fire station.
Off of Grissom Parkway? Or is it Grissom Road?
Right where the fire station is? Yeah, straight ahead probably. You know where the road splits, the river road?
And is it off US 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're just heading towards there, yeah.
Right where the road splits?
Yep, that's more like Sharps, isn't it, that area?
Technically, I guess, it's still Cocoa, technically, but it's near Sharps. I'm surprised you even know that word. Technically, Sharps doesn't exist because it's part of Cocoa.
Yeah.
My mom's from Sharps.
Yeah. I used to live in Port St. John.
Okay,
I used to live off May Boulevard.
So you know the old stuff.
Yep. There's looks like a 172 over there, a couple birds.
I didn't see the 172.
He's at the 11 o'clock. 3 fingers above the horizon.
You got him. There he is. Joe, I'm impressed with your briefing and your thoroughness.
Yeah. If you want, you can come on the controls with me and just feel the cruising, right?
All right.
So see how little I'm not even moving the pedals.
Right.
And the collective, I just lock my left arm so the collective stays fixed at 28 inches. And then I'm looking at my airspeed indicator. I'm sorry, my altitude. And I'm just pitching to maintain about 500 feet. That's it. You know, needles will bounce around a little bit as you go through turbulent air, but all we're doing here is just maintaining our altitude with the cycling and our directional control. And you can see how little I'm moving it. Just
once you're cruising, it's just another vehicle, right?
it is, yeah.
Do this again, Joe. I want to spend more time with the hover and the cyclic and the pickup and all that stuff.
Well, that's where most people like to spend the time at because it's the most difficult. And then once you get more advanced and you start doing the auto rotations, those are the most fun for me. I mean, those are the most nerve-wracking, obviously, because you can get yourself in trouble if you don't recover properly. But otherwise, no, it's fun. I mean,
There's that. If you go straight ahead, my house is right out there.
That's good. Now I'm going to start buzzing your house.
666, where are you going?
That road right there.
There you go. You're flying. Point us in the direction we need to go.
All right, we're going right there.
There you go.
666, your instructions are reported to base to runway 9. Runway 9, clear for touch and go. After you touch and go,
too much.
Mid-fill
Yeah, you don't have to jab it that much, just a little bit. You kind of hold it in that position.
Go, runway 9.
And then if you have a drift, climb, or descent, you just adjust it.
Your instructions were...
It's sort of like a little bit on a rubber band.
It is. Now, if you had more turbulent air, you'll be making a lot more inputs, but today's a very calm day.
I got it. Small inputs. Yeah, I got it.
That's it. RC park down there. I didn't know that was there. RC airplanes off to the right.
Oh yeah, they have an RC park there. They just expanded that. They got a little go-kart racetrack too. That's my house right over there.
Which one?
Where this road joins US 1.
Okay, I see that.
Where does it join?
Are you right on the water, or are you over
Yeah,
here?
I'm on the water.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Where is US 1?
Right there is US 1. We're crossing over it now.
Okay, where does US 1 join the river? Right here. US 1 joins the river right there.
Yep.
My house is right there. That's it.
With the solar panels?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, I got you. I want to put it off the left side for you. Yep, you're just south of the
Get down.
class.
Can we get down? She said she hears me.
Damn, dude, that's a nice house.
I built this back here in the backyard. That whole thing I dug out.
Nice. You got a backhoe?
No, I rented one for a couple days and then hired a guy to do it.
Oh, nice.
And then we redid our coquina on our dock.
Very cool.
Just, that's what we paid him to do.
Well, I see it. Awesome.
Said she hears us.
I don't know if you can see us, yeah. All right.
Cool, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. I love sharing the experience with people. All right, so it looks
Ready
like...
to talk to him, don't you?
Yeah.
0608, visibility 7.
Give it changed.
6,000 scattered. Temperature 23, dew point 08, altimeter 3014. Visual approach is runway 9 in use. Landing departing runway 9. Pattern altitude is 1,000 feet.
Runway 9. Okay, so we can stay south of runway 9. Land
Use caution, numerous
towards the east.
Read back all runway hold short instructions. Advise Space Coast Tower. You have this information, Charlie.
Charlie, okay. Alrighty, 500 feet. Space Coast Tower, helicopter 8006 Alpha.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha, Space Coast Tower.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha is approximately 5 miles to the south of the airfield. Information, Charlie. Like to set up for an east landing to the southeast T-hangar ramp. We can stay south of runway 9 at all times.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, that's approved as requested. Land to southeast hangar ramp will be drone risk. Winds at the air filter 060 at 7.
Okay, approved as requested. Landing at my own risk. Helicopter 06 Alpha. Thanks. Awesome. See? They let you do pretty much whatever you want as long as you stay away from the fixed wing traffic, and that's another FAA regulation. 91 discusses, try to stay away from the flow of fixed wing traffic. I used to come out here a lot and do like pattern work, and then I just noticed like I'm kind of a nuisance, and that's why the helicopter school has their own little pads that they practice on. They stay away from the fixed wing traffic. The guys will accommodate me here, but it's just, it's not the same.
Right.
So we'll do a quick cruise back there. Fuel looks good, temperature. We'll show you a little bit of a higher speed cruise at 32 inches. And we'll probably get to 90, 100 miles an hour. We'll see what she comes out of it. That's 33 inches, maintaining our altitude.
There's a lot going on.
Oh yeah. And there's 100 miles an hour. Indicated at least.
Cessna 966, runway 3, runway 9, clear touch go.
79. There's a lot going on.
Go runway 9.
There is. But you'll start getting more vibrations the faster you get. It's just not as comfortable. A smooth day like this today, actually, 100 indicate is not bad.
Yeah, I feel the vibrations.
But that's normal, excuse me. Boy, I talk so much I have to keep a little water there. Good old Port St. John.
there's a lot of Raptors around here.
Yeah.
I never realized there were this many.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, got the ramp in sight. Yeah, the winds did shift a little bit there. I might actually have to get out and move the, we'll see how it feels. I always like to land into the wind on the trailer, so I might have to move it. And you can see here, so I'll talk through the approach here, right? So I'm going to pick an area there. You can follow through on the controls if you want. So I'm reducing the power, keeping her in trim. So the landing area is just going to be on the south side where the cart is. We're going to land behind that. And the whole idea is...
You have a lot of rudder in right here.
Yeah, a lot of left pedal because that tail rotor is offloaded completely. And I'm keeping that landing area kind of in the center of the canopy here. And we're coming in more belly in versus nose in. So nose high attitude versus nose low attitude. And then we try to keep that airspeed up as long as possible until we have that landing area assured. Yeah, watch your fist there because I'll need that right cyclic inputs. So that's why you'll see me flying like this so my fist doesn't block the control movement. But you're fine. Alrighty. Alright, here's the tricky part. So give me a little bit of room here. Stay off all the controls, and getting back on that cart is the hardest thing to do in a helicopter.
Alright, my knees are as clear as I can make them.
You're good, you're good. You can actually stretch your legs out. It's probably better for you. Like that, yeah, just clear the controls. If I had to pick up, we're going to come off the dolly if it doesn't look good. And then the whole idea is that left skid will go in that blue marker. And just trying to keep her square on the dolly is what we're trying to do here. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of left pedal here.
Look at you.
How's she look?
Looks good.
Okay. I'm going to slowly center the controls.
Okay.
Look out the door and look out the left rear heel. You see, is it on the pad, on the rubber? The left rear the skid?
Yeah, it's on it.
Okay, good. So we slowly reduce the power. Here's the low rotor one.
79966 midfield, touch and go.
7966 runway.
And then we just go into cool down phase.
79966.